Hello and welcome to Hotspur Way, round 11, dying seconds. So bear with me, even if you're not a boxing fan. We're an aspiring heavyweight. We've done really well to get to where we're at. And we're in the penultimate fight before we get to the big one. And we are facing an opponent who is so dodgy, who is doing everything they can, every trick in the book to try and garner some time and take it to a draw because they've never lost. But we've been smashing them for 11 rounds and we're coming up into the final round. In the 11th round, so this is a 12-round match, they hit us really low, the ref doesn't see it and we go down. And we've got the coach screaming, saying, "We never stop. You never stop. Get up." And we get up. And we find it in ourselves to go and go again. And we deliver a massive uppercut, which sees them go down. The crowd are on their feet. Everyone is jeering us on. Everyone hates them. And as they're struggling and they walk towards us and the referee starts the match because they weren't counted out, we then smack them across the face and they go down for the knockout. Guys, what does that remind you of? You're supposed to say the Sheffield United game.
Rocky IV.
The Sheffield United game.
There you go. That's what it reminds you. Oh, God, I've been trying to come up with that analogy for the whole... Oh, it's rubbish, isn't it?
No, I had to say something silly.
Guys, how did you feel? First of all, before we ask that question... Oh, by the way, we've got Ross and Perchy. Before they scored, how did you feel, Perch? How did you feel before they scored?
The frustration of the game was one of those games of football where I was just like, oh, this game is just going by, and it felt like it was that game, right? Do you know what I mean? Where it just it was killing me because I was watching, going, come on, we've got to break him down at some point, surely. And it just wasn't happening, was it?
It wasn't. And then in the 73rd minute, is it just me who thought it was a bit of a fat boy? Hammer.
I thought he was a good player.
No, I didn't say... No, I mean, Ronaldo, though, the original one was a fantastic player, but it was a bit of a... You know, he liked his crumpets. But he's really good player, actually. I don't think he could fit in a Postecoglou team with the amount of pressing we do. I mean, if he could, then Ndombele could. But he scored a good goal. And at that point, Ross, how did you feel? So that goal goes in, and what did you think? Be honest.
Up until then, I was like, we will nick this. And then when they scored, I was a bit... maybe we could get a draw, and then we're still unbeaten. But, I don't know. When the 12 minutes went up, I was like...
Hold on. Before we get to the 12 minutes...
Yeah.
See, I've got a lot of work to do, because I seem to be at the trio... I seem to be the only one who's fully inducted into the cult of Postecoglou.
Well,
I had zero doubt. I was still expecting us to score 4 goals. I mean, all of us, let's face it, we're shit at predictions. But none of us said 2-1, did we? Or did Spook? I think he said...
Hang on. My predictions this week were very good. Not just on Spurs, but on every game.
We don't care. Listen, you do the Arsenal, and now we found out a Chelsea crossover. I mean, so we don't care. We don't care about your other predictions. This is a Tottenham Hotspur podcast, okay? So I was expecting us to get 4 goals, even when on the 73rd minute. In fact, I'll tell you what happened. When that goal went in, I then sat up. So I was lying on my couch. I then sat up and I thought, come on, let's go. And I hadn't even thought about them adding on 12 minutes. I thought, because the way it happened in the first half, where he added on 3 minutes, I thought that was really odd if they changed this law and I don't know about it. So maybe they're going to add on 5, but we can get 4. This is what I was thinking. And I was so close to texting you guys on the group. And I thought, no, I'm not. I'm going to make a dick of myself. So I didn't. And then the ball goes up. Ross, tell us how you felt when 12 minutes were shown.
At that point, he made some changes and I thought we were going to get at least a point. And because I wasn't watching the game, I was relying on Tim Sherwood, sadly, on Sports Soccer or Soccer Saturday, whatever it's called these days. And he said, there's only one team winning this. There's only one team winning this. and that was us. So I had an immense amount of confidence in Ange and his merry men of getting us back into the game. I did not think we'd win it because I just didn't think there'd be enough time to win it. But thank God I'm not a prediction horse. I'd have been wrong.
Hold on, tell us about Tim Sherwood. What was he doing?
He was doing the watching for Soccer
The watch
Saturday.
along.
You know, they get...
I know.
Yeah.
But he was saying
And
that we were saying that we were going to lose or win?
No, he said there's only one team winning this, and that's Tottenham, and that's just when Richie scored, because obviously he knows everything, tactics, Tim. And so you fed confidence off that, and Ange, I just can't see Ange letting a team, his own team, just drift away to a draw. You could just see that you could just tell from the highlights I've watched, it was all very, no, let's go again. And the players didn't just buy into it. They were ramming it home. They wanted that second goal. I mean, the fact that Richarlison didn't go absolutely apeshit when he scored is a testament to him after what he's been through in the last couple of weeks. That he said, no, we're going to go for the win. And, I mean, one thing that I did want to bring up was all that fitness crap that Antonio Conte, you know, when he tried to kill all the players in wherever it was, Thailand or wherever. And then Ange has been, obviously he's been doing a lot of fitness work, but it's not been as documented. But these players in the 100 and whatever minute were just absolutely running their asses off against this shell-shocked Sheffield United team. And with the Decky goal, if you look at it, Dogie, I think, takes the ball off someone, knocks it to someone who knocks it to Richarlison, who does what he does and passes it to young Swedish lad who somehow used his right foot for once, bless him.
So I can answer that question. When we were younger, that's you and me, Ross, because Perchy's a young lad.
Oh, fucking dear.
When we were at school, it's a fact. When we were at school, they used to make us do cross country, right? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a nonce. I haven't been to school for a long time, but what basically happens is that sports science has come into its own, and you don't have to run X amount of kilometers to prove that you're fit. Far from it. So there's multiple different disciplines now. For instance, based on interval training, you can get the body to create far more stamina and endurance by a lot of the easiest things, which is, for instance, what you're going to do is you're gonna I don't know, let's say from here to there, you're gonna sprint, then you're gonna walk, then you're gonna run backwards, then you're gonna jog. And so what you're doing is you're preparing your body for all sorts of intervalled endurance. I'm saying this all wrong. Clearly, I'm not a sports scientist, but what I'm trying to say is that when you look at a football game, it is not constant running. And what I found quite ridiculous was when people were saying, this was last season, in South Korea, oh, look how fit we're going to be. I was watching it and I was thinking, what are we doing? Do we not have any sports scientists at the club? Because football, as far as I know, isn't jogging 42 lengths or running 42 lengths and then throwing up. I've never seen a footballer throw up on the pitch, other than when there's been a dire injury, and I have actually seen that. But that's not how professional athletes train. And that was the first point of last season when I saw that, and everyone was going mental about it, where I just thought, there's something wrong here. And I'm so happy that little critical tickle happened, because it was like, hold on a sec, there's something wrong here with that. And so with Ange, what they do is they push them to their limits, and just before they hit their red zones, I'm not pulling this out my arse, I actually have read it. And then if you deduce what players say on their Instagram and when Spurs post on the training feeds, you can actually then fill in the gaps. And so what happens is before they get to their red zone, they will then have a break, and he takes their mind off of football, where he asks them to tell stories about each other and about what they were doing the night before and whatever. And what that does, it relaxes them and then they're back into it straight away. And again, it's with the intervals. So what they do is, and also we know it's well documented, their training sessions are built around the time that the ball is in play on the pitch. And depending on which group that you're in with regards to the fitness, because they're in different groups, you will run certain points and that emulates what you're doing on the pitch. So, Mr. Conte, fuck you, you fucking terrorist. you absolute stain of a man. He knew nothing. Absolutely nothing. And you know what makes it even worse? I backed him. And I continue to back him. Sorry about that. I can't really mute my mic. I mean, I can, but let me try and mute it. Let me just cough. You lot talk a minute.
I was just gonna say, at least say how you feel, right?
Yeah.
Why not? Say how you feel, right? Don't mince your words, mate. Come on. Yeah, but listen, I can't disagree with you. I hated Conte. I thought it was awful. I was one of everyone that kept saying, "Oh, back him." No, he's not the manager to back. Listen, I love the way that we play under this manager, and I think the fitness side of things, I get all of it. And I kind of say it on this part. I think I'll say it in more simple terms. It's more the sense of actually players prefer to play this style of football. So we talk about fitness all we want, right? But when we're playing football like this, you're going to work harder. You're not going to work harder when you're basically saying, "Oh, do you know what? For 90 minutes, we've got to camp in our own half and hope we get a counter-attack," right? Like, who's excited for that? No one is. It was awful.
Thing is, mate, it's not just what they do with regards to the physical side at Hotspur Way. And as they would say in Family Guy, oh, there it is, right? So it's not just what they're doing. It's the fact that, and again, well documented, he doesn't let them stop. He has got his coaching staff that if he sees someone isn't going 100%, they are screaming at them. And you know, when talking about Postecoglou, when he talks about that right now the players are following direction and it's not instinctive. If you speak to Celtic fans, I wish I could speak to some Australian Brisbane Roar and Marinos fans, but I just don't really know any. But I've got mates who are Celtic fans, and what they say is that in the second season, the new signings that join, you will see the rest of the players who have been there for a year with Postecoglou, they will be pulling them from the scruff of their neck. We're talking about pulling the new players if they're not pulling their weight. And so that instinctiveness passes throughout the whole team. Do you know what that means for us as Spurs fans? Seeing things like that. Seeing a team that everyone last year was criticising. And we're talking about, 40% of the players that are still there? And this is happening, guys. This is happening and we're seeing it. And so fuck you, Sheffield United. What are you saying, Ross? Before I get into some stats, because I want to stat bomb this.
Go on it. I was just going to say, it's not just the fitness as well; it's the clarity of thought, which is really important in them really kind of embers of the games where you can think straight enough as players, know what to do, what positions to take up, where to go, and what to do, and so that obviously that comes from confidence, and as I said, just removing that fear of losing. So on two fronts, it was a beautiful end, man. A beautiful end.
Beautiful. Right, guys, don't Google this. Right, I'm going to ask some questions. You ready for the stats?
Yes.
Should we do a jingle? Oh, forget it. So for the stats bit of the show, because we have to rival other podcasts, and all three of us are amazing statisticians. Mm-hmm. How many shots on goal did we have against Sheffield United? Was it?
I think I know because I've done all these stats for my channel, so I think I know.
I think it was around 35.
No.
28. I'm going with.
God, someone's got Google open. 28 shots. Unfortunately, shots on target. Shots on target wasn't too great at 10.
6. Oh. Well, that's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah, but in context, though, it doesn't sound good, but because I did all these stats for my channels, I did it on my thing, but is it saying like 9 of them weren't on target? 9 of them, those not on target, were blocked shots, right? So you could argue 19 of them were on target in context, right?
What? Sorry, what do you mean?
So like, out of the 28 shots, 10 were on target and 9 of them were blocked shots by defenders.
I know, but it's still only a 28% return, which, if we know Postecoglou, like clearly we all three of us know, and we sit on his lap, then he's not going to be happy. He's not going to be happy with a 35% return. I do believe that he's probably said this to him, that we need to at least get 50% of those shots on target, and they work on this. But possession, 71% to 29, fair enough. Do you know, Ross, how many passes? So Sheffield United, let's phrase it this way. Sheffield United made 269 passes in 100 and... How many minutes was the game actually in total?
112?
No, he added on after we scored. There was a bit more time, wasn't there?
It was like 22 minutes added on, for God's sake.
Yeah,
105, wasn't it?
Yeah, if you include the 3 minutes of the first half, maybe 107, 108 minutes, right? So Sheffield United, in all those minutes, I mean, if we were to get a calculator out, now watch this. I've just opened a calculator because I'm really fancy. And I'm going to do 269 divided by, let's just say 108 minutes. That's 2 passes a minute. Have I got that right? Right, yeah.
It's around about, it's about 2 and a bit passes.
2.5 passes, 2.5 passes a minute. How many passes did we make, Ross? Perchy, you're not allowed to say anything because you clearly know these stats.
I don't know that one.
I don't know, 631.
Very close. So,
Ooh.
So 620 divided by, let's do... So we made nearly 6 passes a minute. So that they made
not a lot.
Not bad though, is
it? Wait,
no,
sorry,
I'm
hang on,
joking.
did you just say that's not a lot? I don't know if
I didn't say that. That's Ross.
I was going to say that's mad, but actually, but there again, context is key, right? Look how many. I bet you can, if you get the stats of how many passes Romero and Van der Ven made. They made loads of passes between themselves, even for the first sort of 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. What did you think of Richarlison? Percy, that's over to you, seeing as we've had a bit of a ding-dong about this.
Richarlison, do you know what? I've always stood by this. Credit where credit's due. And he came on the pitch, and he's the reason we won the game. He's the difference maker.
Well done. I'm so happy you said that, mate.
No,
because it's the truth. It's the truth. It's absolutely the truth. I've
always stood by credit where credit's due. I'm not one of these people that bigs up a player before they've done anything. I'll big up a player once I see that they've done something. And listen, he came on the pitch, and listen, and I always say this, by the way, massive shout out to the guy. He's come out and said what he said, which is fair play to him. And I tell you what, that performance can only be good. But when I say good, it now means he has to do it again. I don't want it to be a 1 in 8 goal. Go and do it. Come off if you come. I think you can't. Don't start on the weekend, but come off the bench. If we need a goal, show what you can do. I mean, he gets a goal and assist in the death, and do you know what? You need players to step up, and he stepped up. So you can't be critical of that. But what I will always say before people jump on this, oh, he's amazing, he's this. Before we do that, do it again and again and again. That then gives you a bit of momentum, and then people will start changing their minds on it.
Ross, what did you think, mate?
I think with Richarlison, it was really obvious he did not like Conte, which is weird why he signed for us, but by the by. And so and for what he's been through in the last 2 or 3 weeks hasn't helped him either. So the fact that he's come through that, scored a goal, he should have, in hindsight, he should have started because of the way Sheffield United played. Because they kind of nullified most of what's good about Sonny. But I just think if he can just get a run of games, even if he's coming off the bench, as Perchy said, for half an hour, because I would be tempted to start the same team again against Arsenal because I think they'll push up high. I just, you can't help but admire the guy and like the guy, that he deserves a shot, and hopefully judge him on this season because he obviously didn't get along with the manager, and see where it goes from there, because that's all you can do.
Mate, do you know that one of the biggest roars that I gave that afternoon was when he scored, I I jumped up, like did this stupid clap mid-air, fell on the couch again, and then I did it again when he didn't go off into the crowd and whatever, say, look at me, I'm the big I am. He was ushering his teammates on to get the ball and go again. Fucking get in. And that, for me, is the Richarlison that I remember from watching the 2.5 games that I saw him when he was playing for Everton. Okay, I know it wasn't, I'm not an Everton fan, so I'm not going to watch their whole, whenever he played for him, but that's what I remember. And I remember him at the World Cup, and that's the one that I remember. That's the version of him. And I tell you what, another thing that we'll talk about Kulusevski's goal in a minute. I thought, even though Son wasn't too much in the game, I think he played well. I know a lot of people say he wasn't completely in the game. I think he was, and he was making some good runs. What I loved about him is the way that he's matured. I don't know if any of you noticed this, but like, he's there to pull players away when they need to be pulled away. He'll go up to the ref. He's respectful, which a lot of South Koreans are. He gave that nod of the head, like when the ref was trying to explain to him why he gave a drop ball before, but now it was a free kick. It's little things like that which show that not only do we have a young team, because we do, but we have maturity. Another thing we do have with Brennan Johnson is speed. We've got a really fast team right now. And it sort of hasn't dawned on a lot of teams. I don't think it's even dawned on our fans how fast our team is. I won't go through them all. But Son still has pace. Van der Ven is the fastest thing in the West. Brennan Johnson is definitely the fastest thing in the Principality. Am I allowed to say Principality? It is what it is, right? Again, dead silence. I'm losing my touch.
We're waiting for you to finish, sir.
And we've then got, all right, he's not the fastest, but Kulusevski, I mean, that stat before the game that I read it, where he had covered the most ground, I was specifically looking at him and seeing like, hold on a minute, that doesn't make any sense. But they're not going to make a stat like that up, are they? And then you see why he runs so much. And I mean, from what I could see, it was, I'm doing a Nathan A. Clark from the Extra Inch. I mean, I won't give too much tactical analysis away, because I can't. But what we're seeing is, because we're playing inverted fullbacks, which means that they then make up the number 6 role. So when they're coming in, Kulusevski is normally on the halfway line on the break, and then he has to run up and then track back, because if the inverted fullback, and sometimes they're on the other side of the pitch, I don't know if you noticed this, Porro, 3 times I counted, was on the left side of the pitch, and Udogie was in the middle at that point. So you do have to have someone who has massive endurance and stamina, and that's Kulusevski. And no wonder the guy's running so much more than anyone else. But I'm so fucking excited, guys. So excited. And then when he gets that ball from Richarlison, what did you lot think? Perchy, what did you think, mate? When he got that ball, did you expect it to go in?
What, Kulusevski to score?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did actually. Because actually, do you know what? Kulusevski was in a position where actually I went, do you know what? Well, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. It's nice that you're actually sitting next to the microphone.
No. It just, I feel like my computer was just frozen. I thought then. So apologies. Do you know what? The one thing Kulusevski got there was he didn't have time to think about it. When he has too much time on the ball, he really gets into dead ends. It was get the ball, take it onto your right foot, and just shoot. And I expect him to score from that. It was one of those, right? Because I think he's a good player. He's a good instinctive player. He's not a great player when he's got too much time to think about it. His instincts are very good, but it's when it's long on the ball. He gets dragged out wide. It's like, listen, do you know what? We may have found a role for him in the second, especially in the second half, down the middle. And I think it actually worked quite well.
Ross, mate, what about you?
I thought he'd have a crack. It's just he's so left-footed. It hurts, bless him. And the old thing about the other foot's just there for standing, or it's his swinger. I think footballers have progressed since then, and it's more of a technical thing that they work on. But he hit it so hard and so sweet. It was an almost unstoppable shot, and just there's nothing but credit to the team, the fans. It's easy for the fans to get up and trying to bump the team up, but for the players to respond like they did and just to keep going. And I refer back to this, the fact that they were harassing them. And I know I shouldn't be surprised about fit young men running around, but it's a sapping game, and it wasn't a cool weather-wise day, I don't think. But no, the minute it left his foot, there was only one place it was going, and it was back under the net. And the celebrations afterwards, I don't know if we're going to come onto it, but that was wonderful, seeing like Brian Hill and the young Argentinian lad and all them, Bentancur looking after his mate. It was great to see, and it was just a lovely moment. I mean,
it was the togetherness, right? Wasn't it that togetherness that you could see it?
It was beautiful, and the celebrations afterwards summed it up when Sonny was pushing Richarlison. Richarlison seemed a little bit, I don't know whether it's embarrassed or just a bit kind of, no, not right now, but it was nice that he did get into the spirit of things, and he should do. The only thing I'll play devil's advocate with on this, and I'll probably get shouted out, we have to work out a way going forward how to break these teams down earlier. Maybe he could have brought Richarlison on a little bit earlier.
One sec. So 27 minutes exactly. Please, can you clip this up? I'm just taking down some notes. Yeah, go on. Continue.
I should get paid for this. It was just, I think we need to learn how to break these teams down. And I think maybe he could have, and I'm not bashing Ange. I'm not bashing him, so calm down. It's just, bring on Richarlison a little bit earlier, take off Solomon, get Sonny running at them, and get a focal point up there. But who am I to question my favourite Australian bloke after Shane Warne, who I hope he gives me a hug one day. I would love an Ange hug.
You'd disappear in that. You'd disappear in that man here.
No, not with my dad bod. It would be a collision of dad bods. We'd create a super dad bod. It'd be wonderful.
Ross, I disagree with you.
So do I.
And are you saying I haven't got a dad bod?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. No, but I disagree with you on the substitution front. And listen, initially I was on your train of thought, but someone mentioned it to me and went, do you know what? I actually think, and the manager came out and said it, and do you know what? Massive credit to him, because it could have gone one or two ways, right? So, like, he made his subs late because he expected 10 plus minutes, right, of added time. So he thought, do you know what? Instead of making changes in the 65th minute, we'll go 70, 75. And we'll play 10 minutes into it longer. Yes, that's when they went and scored. And then it was like, okay, we now need to make changes. But actually, it allowed us to have 5 players on the pitch, much fitter up until the 100th minute, right? And it paid dividends. Obviously, if we hadn't scored and it finished 1-0, you'd have gone, well, the manager's got to look into why he's made subs late. But, I mean, he gets paid for doing those jobs. And ironically, he got it right. So you have to sit there and go, you got it actually spot on, in my opinion.
100%. Do you know what it reminds me of? Because I was round about the 5th minute mark. I was going, where are the subs? I mean, I can see him sat there. Does Ange know that they're sat behind him? Does he think he brought them on? I mean, he's getting on. And, you know, you've watched some either series or films where there's sometimes a character that you doubt them at your peril. And that's Ange. Because I started to go, like, on the 70th minute, it was like, mate, come on. What's going on? Can you, like, bring on some subs? Can you do something? Please do something. And I just thought, what's happening? You know, are they going to come on? Are they not going to come on? Whatever. But he just knew. And then I think it was on Spurs play when he sort of let the cat out of the bag when he said, we knew that the ref was going to add on quite a fair bit of stoppage time. And so it was part of the plan again. Man, nothing gets past this fucking guy. Honestly, I mean...
This is why I'm not a manager. I mean, I would have gone, no, I'll do it on 60 minutes because I play Football Manager.
I would have as well, mate. I would have had a rule, like 60 minutes, you're on. Doesn't matter what's going on. I can't bother changing it. Press spacebar and off you go. You know, but with him, no, he knows what he's doing. Absolutely knows what he's doing. And that celebration... Yeah, go on.
Do you think more, on both of you, do you think more and more managers will be trying to get ahead of the game by holding back substitutions from now on?
Yeah, and it won't... I mean, you'll have probably pundits saying, look, they're copying Ange. You know, just copying Ange, mate.
Woohoo.
Because it's one of those things where... Did you just fall over? Or is that
Mike did.
Is that your little mic?
Mate. This is why you need a new mic.
Yeah, so before we
I didn't open the stand. I didn't open the stand. It fell over. It's not drunk.
Before we started recording, and I wish I had recorded this. It was gold. Ross was telling us how much he loves his small one, and it didn't sound too small to you. So Perch, me and you are in trouble, mate, because if the noise that thing just made. Do you want to get it off the desk and put it back in your pants?
It does have protection. It does have protection around it to stop it from being spat on, and it's and women are spoken to. It does.
It's got a muffler, has it?
The head on it's big enough to collect everything that it needs to, and it works, and it feels like I'm right next to you. So there you go. Size isn't everything, apparently.
Right. Moving on. That celebration. I know we sort of covered it, but for me, seeing Vicario run, I think is another one that's super fast. By the way, because
sorry. Can we ever work before we? I know what you're going to say, but sorry, he ran the pitch in about 5 seconds. Are we not forgetting about that?
Less.
That's mental.
Yeah.
Less than 5 seconds, actually.
I've never seen someone run so quickly. He's a goalkeeper.
And isn't he impressing? Isn't he impressing though? Right. Because I too had my doubts. I know that I waffle on and I'm the gospel of support our players, and I am, right? Because I've reached a certain age now where if you wear that shirt, the size of club we are, then you're good enough. What sweets are they, by the way? It sounds like you're ruffling through some sherbets.
Oh, but it's actually not sweets.
What? It's not vegan goodies, is it? Come on, tell us what it is.
Well, actually, technically,
do we need to do an intervention again, Perch?
It's not goodies. I've been caught out here. I'm basically prepping dinner. I'm peeling garlic, if that's what you want to know. It's nothing exciting.
That's why he's never at the mic. So he runs a YouTube channel with Arsenal and Chelsea fans, and he's got a cooking thing going on the side. Listen,
No, I am
during this podcast, because we did get you a mic, can you just sit down and do an actual fucking podcast with us? That's all we ask. That's all we ask. Just sit down, do a podcast with us, and that would be great. I mean, that's just all we are. I mean, we're not asking for much. I'm
just sat here
while these two are
garlic,
bickering, welcome to Prepping with Perchy.
Prepping with Perchy, I like that.
So what are you going to cook then? What's the garlic? What are you going to add to the garlic?
I'm making spaghetti bolognese after this stream.
Right, it's not a stream. I mean, we still have to explain how a podcast works. So it's an audio call, which we then... Oh, not really. Because you keep telling people to watch the podcast. I mean, do you know so listeners, the worst thing about this, because he kept telling people to watch the podcast,
I'm ordering dinner.
I had to go fucking create a YouTube channel and then spend an hour and a half creating a video where you can't actually watch. It's just got our logo. Because he was telling people to go and watch the bloody podcast. I'm not doing that anymore. No more. We're just going to do some clipping of this, and that's about it.
Give the people what they want. Give the people what they want.
Right. With your spaghetti bolognese, and sorry, listeners, but with your spaghetti bolognese, I'll give you a little hint, okay? What you have to do, my stepdad's a world-class chef, and he taught me this quite a few years ago. You have to have some mixed spice ready and some cinnamon.
Yeah. And
what you do is first of all, never put your garlic and your onion in before the meat. So what you do is you put the meat in first. You got some olive oil, put 2 bay leaves in. You then put your onion and your garlic in. First of all, garlic and then your onion. Make sure that your onion has basically caramelized just a little bit. Make sure they're small as well. Sorry about this, guys, but I just need to finish this. And then what you do is once your meat is nearly cooked, get a tablespoon of tomato puree, stick it in there. Leave the bay leaves in for another 10 minutes. What you can then do is you sprinkle on some, basically not too much, but a dusting of cinnamon powder and then mixed spice powder. Then, this is a special ingredient, you throw in some bacon bits, and what you then do is you put in around 4 or 5 tablespoons of tomato ketchup. Once you've got your water from the pasta boiling, you take some of the water from your pasta. Make sure you put some butter in there as well. And then you put that into your spaghetti bolognese. Once that comes to the boil, you then remove that water and stick it into your pasta. We'll talk about the rest later. So that's how you make a perfect spaghetti bolognese. Right, so you're sat near the mic, right? This is a football podcast because it's all your fault that we've just done a whole recipe on spaghetti bolognese.
I have been sat here.
You've been sat at your desk doing garlic.
No.
Your girlfriend must love you. Oh, you have what?
Lucky she doesn't live with me, which is probably beneficial. That's probably why we're still
together. To her or you? Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's probably why we're still together. No, I've just been at my desk whilst you're talking. I'm just doing a little bit of prep work because otherwise, by the time we finish this, it'll be very late for dinner.
It is very late. We've been going for 36 minutes. So what I want you to do, guys, is tell me how you feel about the upcoming Arsenal game. And Ross, over to you, Sunshine.
I'm ordering takeaway. Arsenal game. Oh God, they've got little PSV tomorrow or tonight. I don't really care, and I don't know, and it's hard because it's at their ground. And
so let me ask you, how do you feel right now? Now that I've brought this, I mean, you knew the game was coming up. How do you feel right now? Do you feel, after what we've just been discussing for 36 minutes, including my outstanding world-class boxing analogy, how do you feel against the Tottenham Hotspur of North London going up against Woolwich Wanderers?
I've got so many splinters on my arse. I am sticking there, though, from sitting on the fence. And I'm
surprised that appendage of yours, which can gather things up, allows splinters to stick to your arse. Really, that's how you feel. You're sitting on the fence still, because I asked you about it yesterday, didn't I? And you were on the fence. What? Yep,
there I remain. I just think we'll cancel each other out, and you know what weirdo's like on their manager. He doesn't like being asked about his goalkeepers. He's trying to be like Pep, but it's a bit of a Lidl's Pep, and it's very.
That's the title of the show, Lidl's Pep.
And it's all very embarrassing, and they're a weird club anyway. They're weird, or not all of them. A lot of them are weird fans.
No, you say it with chest, Ross. All of them.
No, I don't, because I'll go on a ramble about some tit about mental health the other day, and I could have smacked him, but I don't know who he is. And it's just all very. It's really ramping up because we're doing so well, which is funny. It really annoys them. So I think if we just come away minimum a credible draw, it's more pain for them. If we lose, we're okay. We're like, okay, we're still on this journey. We're still going to continue. Yes, they've won. Yes, it's annoying, but we're going to carry on. If they lose, they're going to be on. They're going to be people watching bridges of these like lemmings of Arsenal fans falling off. And it'll be like, yeah, but we won this, we won that. And it's well done. So that's where I'm at. I'm happy with the draw because I think it will hurt them more than us. Mic drop.
Perch, with that garlic in your hands, smothering you.
In my hand. No, I'm just.
What do you think is going to happen? In fact, actually, how do you feel about the game? I think you can tell. You don't have to ask me. You can tell that I'm quite calm. How do you feel about the game?
There's no pressure really on us at the moment. I think Ross hit the nail on the head. It's Arsenal have more of the pressure than we do. They have to beat us. They constantly beat us at their place, right? So I think they're not expecting us to come at them the way we do. People keep telling me, "Oh, we need to be a bit more pragmatic." No, effing way, no fucking way. Are we going to do that? Because listen, go at them, go all out. I think it's going to be one of those games of football that, as a fan of either team, you're going to be sat back going, "Oh, like this is going to be the nightmare for 90 minutes or 110 minutes. Probably is how it's going to end up." But you're going to sit back and go, "It's going to finish 3-3." That's my prediction. I'm going early with it, 3-3. Because I think it's going to be one of those games that I think there's going to be a lot of goals in it. I genuinely think there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. Listen, it's one of those. We win, we break that hoodoo off our back because we don't win there. Listen, let's be honest, we don't win there. We can say how great we are and all this. We don't go over to the Emirates and ever win. But listen, if we do, the big if, then you've got to get excited, right? Slowly get a little bit more excited. But listen, for me, it's the game of all games at the moment. This is the litmus test for Ange Postecoglou. We can sit there and say it's been great, yeah, but we haven't really played anyone of note. Now we're playing a team that are fully at it, right?
All the Manchester United fans worldwide, thank you.
But no, let's be fucking honest. Man United are awful. Man United are crap. Like, we're playing really a team. Are. We're playing. Listen, no one we've played of note at the moment can score goals. We haven't. There's no team at the moment that we've played that have gone. They've got a proper striker. Brentford don't have Tony. Bournemouth have what? What's his name? The guy that they have. What's his name? Solanke. Not very. He's an all right striker, but he's not great. We're now playing against a team that have organised and know what they're doing. So that's the important thing now. This is the litmus test. The litmus test is this on Sunday.
So I've got a bone to pick with you. I was trying really nice because it was sort of when I started to get to know you. Now I can say what you want. I can now say mum jokes and all that stuff, right? But I'm not going to. I was trying really nicely to tell you that Ten Hag isn't. I think Ross was on the show. Isn't really a great manager. And I wasn't basing that off of his football prowess or know-how, because I could never, ever know that because I'm not in football. What I can tell you, though, is I am in, this sounds arrogant, I'm in management and I manage people. And I can tell you right now that if that guy came to give a pep talk to any of my team, including the interns, he would have them asleep. Okay, I don't think that he's any good. Okay, he's another one of the Pep prodigies, just like Lidl's Pep, who Ross kindly referred to earlier. And you got Ten Hag, and there's a few others, but Ten Hag is one of the high-profile ones. They're an absolute mess, and they don't have a face. In fact, they don't have a Postecoglou who can pull them through the mire they're in. They've actually got a manager who not only is keeping them where they are, is then pouring more mud and getting buckets of water and making sure they're all there because he doesn't have the personality to pull them out of it. And that's how lucky we are that we have a manager who in 5 games has turned our season around. Now, no offence to the trust, but they tried to organise the second protest. And we didn't mention it on last week's pod, and there was a reason why. Didn't mention it because I thought it was going to go tits up, and it did. Now, if anyone on the trust wants to say otherwise, it went tits up. And Thula, darling, we've spoken. I've given you many opportunities to come on the show. You were supposed to, you didn't. Please come on the show and tell us what's going on there. But I tell you what, people don't care anymore. We don't care because we have someone who not only has given us an A to Z. Perchy, do you know what an A to Z is?
No.
Right, okay.
I know what an A to Z is.
Right, okay. So we've got someone who not only has laid out a map of where we have to go, he spread out his arms, those big hairy arms, those big Greek hairy arms, and he said, "Come on, darlings. Not only are you going to come with me, but I'm going to prepare some souvlaki for you." And off we go, and we're going to smile on the way there. And I tell you what, Arsenal are fucking shitting themselves right now. And this is the bit where people clip up minute 44 and 44 seconds. But I tell you what, I really believe it, and I am more than happy to say that we are going to demolish them 2-1.
Oh, here we go.
1 minute. Demolish them 2-1. They'll probably get an early goal, but I think we are fitter than them. And they don't like it up them. They're I don't know how to really, I've not really thought about this, and I should learn how to articulate my words a lot better. But they're the type of person that you don't want around you if there's thin ice. That's what they remind me of. They're a bunch of pansies. And when you get at them, they don't have that gusto, that spirit, that drive to then say, no, we don't care. You're at our place. We're going to fuck you over. Thing is, we've got a Greek Australian who's teaching that streetness, is that a word, to our squad. And I think that in the second half, there's going to be so much drama. I can see probably Lidl's Pep getting sent off, and I can see us winning 2-1. Now, I don't think it will happen in the last minute, but God almighty, can you imagine if in the last minute, in minute 106, we get a winner? Do you remember that Kabul goal?
Yeah, I do.
Bottle that, guys. Bottle that. Because if we can do something like that, what will happen is two things. Number one, people will then start set up and take notice, because you're right, we haven't played anyone of note. And once again, Manchester United fans and the purple and gold factions support you. We haven't. But we will beat Arsenal. And when that happens, you're going to have on Sunday Supplement and on Monday evening on TalkSport and Perchy on his stream where he's doing garlic and whatever else, you're all going to start to take notice of Tottenham Hotspur. I wish that we were playing them and other teams of note a bit further on, a bit further down the line, because I wanted us to remain the underdog. I love Tottenham because growing up, as I said last week's show,
we're going to be the underdog from season, mate. It will be like that. Listen, I think we have to. And I get your point. Listen, I think this is the right time. Do you know what? I think this is the right time to play him, because do you know what? Like, this is it now for us. We have to. Because the thing is it's very early, but it could be a very defining game of the season. I'll say this now because it will define us where we're at in the sense of the pecking order. Because at the moment, listen, as I said, we've not played anyone note, and you mentioned it as well, but it's one of those. Beat them, we'll be on a massive high, and all that lot will be on a massive high, and then we've got that bounce will follow through to Liverpool. One thing we haven't seen yet is how we bounce back from results. So let's hypothetically, God forbid, that we lose. How do you bounce back? We haven't seen that. Let's hope we don't get to that situation. We win on the weekend, and that we follow that massive high against a very, very good Liverpool side, right? We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen the low to how we respond from a low. So
are you discounting the Fulham game?
Yeah, for the context of this, yeah. I mean, let's.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
Yeah.
But can I just interrupt you, mate? It sounds to me that you're. So are you saying that you're not too sure how we're going to react? Is that what you're saying?
Well, listen, I'm not talking.
I'm listening.
About it
I'm here.
I'm not talking about it with Postecoglou. I'm talking about it as this Tottenham side.
When he teaches them to never stop and they listen, do you believe that he's already had these conversations with them? We know that he must have, because he said to the media, we're going to go through ups and downs. He said, even though I don't like that talk, I just want us to just say we're going to smash everyone, fuck everyone, I don't care. But he said this to him, and I think that he has prepared them for this, but I guarantee he wouldn't have said anything of the note this week. We have anything of the note that if we lose, guys, don't worry. There's the next game. No. He's not that kind of person.
I'm not saying that's what we should be saying. I'm talking about it in a sense of how does this team react. We've seen these teams with.
Well, how do you think he's going to react? I mean, how do you think they're going to react?
What, on the weekend?
No. So let's just, God forbid we lose. How do you think this team is going to react?
How do I think it will? I think it'll be, because we've got a home game, I think it'll be a lot different. But my point being is we haven't seen it happen yet. We don't know. It's the unknown, right? It's the unknown. Listen, and the thing is we can't lose games of football. You talk about a title run, it's not going to be be that. It's too early for saying that. But you
Why?
lose 2 games of foot.
Why is it too early? Oh, you're doing that. So
No,
are we sponsored by the Fighting Cock? Because I heard last. What's it called? Not last. What's the View from the Lane today? They were also sponsored by Fighting Cock. Flav, you've injected everyone. You have become Mr. Smith from the Matrix. Well done, Flav.
How?
Loads.
What's he said? I haven't heard.
Oh God! What?
Could we?
No, I mean we couldn't. But could we?
Could we?
No, you got to go with the octaves. You got to get it done properly.
But but we put our realistic hat on the case, and listen, I'm not trying to put down. Listen, I want people to be excited. Listen, if we win the league, I want to be proven wrong, right? I want to be wrong in what I say. But can this team get 90 points? Because that's what we're talking about now. I don't think it can at the moment.
No, I think we can, but City will get 93.
But really, you think we're one injury away from Eric Dyer at the moment playing at centre half? Do you know what I mean?
But have you heard the ITK about Eric Dyer?
I don't really. Is he still at the club?
No.
So I don't know where this came from. I've just heard it on other podcasts, but apparently Eric Dyer is in Ange's plans.
Right.
He was 1 minute, guys. Again, we're doubting Ange, right? Let's stop doing that. So apparently, yes, he was allowed to leave, but he has been injured, hence why he was in the stands. He was allowed to leave. If he didn't leave, then he has this season to apparently wow Ange and the coaching staff and earn a new contract. Does it mean that he's going to play at centre half? I don't think so. I think he might play in midfield. Okay, he may. Yeah.
Point's still right though.
What's your point?
No? My point is that we're an injury away then from. Do you know what I mean? We haven't got many centre halves, right?
Have faith, mate. Listen.
Listen. We don't get injuries. I do.
Of course, we're going to get injuries. We're going to get injuries.
But we haven't got a squad right now to even be talking about winning.
What you're doing is you're viewing this squad with the Conte tinted glasses on.
No, I'll put it with a realistic view.
No, but realistic. 1 minute. 1 minute. So let's talk about realism. When we think about what kind of squad we had last year, where we didn't want to watch football, guys. I'm 44 years old, and I never thought I would say that I didn't want to watch Tottenham Hotspur. And I grew up with George Graham running that lot down the road, winning everything, and just being so hard to beat. And then there was one season where they only conceded 21 goals, and all of them were lording it over us, and I was getting hammered at school. And then that fucker became our manager. I still wanted to watch us play. Last season, I didn't give a shit. I didn't care.
No, I agree with you, by the way. I agree with you. I didn't. I couldn't stand this.
Can I finish my point? Can I finish my point?
Do it.
Cheers. I finished my point. I'm joking. My point is that we don't know, or we do know, we can see what's going on the training ground because of the way that this team is playing. Of course, if we do lose, and God forbid we don't lose, what is the mentality of this squad? I can tell you that any team that has a manager that is built of rocks like Postecoglou will have a strong mentality, and he won't let them feel sorry for themselves. Before, under Conte, the players didn't want it. It was obvious, guys. It was obvious. And anyone listening to this pod, it doesn't matter if you've been in football or whatever, if you've been in a management position and you've been brought in, not promoted, but you've been brought in, and you've been told by management, listen, the team that you're going to manage, whether it's 2 people, 1 person, 15 people, we know that we've got good people here, and you've got HR telling you they've got good people here, but they've not been performing. They've been coming in late. They've not been doing what they're supposed to do. And your job as their manager is to make sure that department starts performing. By God, I'm going to make sure that every other fucking department in that company is going to be talking about my team. And I'm going to get them going. And that's what I've done. And I'm 44. The guy's 58 and he was a bank manager before. I didn't even know that, by the way, until the TalkSport interview. And now look at him. Okay, now look at what he's doing. He won't let them go back. They're not allowed. It's not part of their mantra. And that's what I'm trying to say. So let's not think about, but we're one injury away and whatever. That's Conte talk. Let's get away from that, mate. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Let's get away from that. We have a manager he's turned around the fortunes of a fucking football club in 5 games. How do we feel? Just remember how that crowd reacted at the end of that game on Saturday. That's one man and his coaching team who he didn't know other than one of those guys. That's what he does. That's what he's done. And that's what he's going to continue to do. Do you understand, mate? I'm not having a go at you. I'm just trying to say that sometimes we have to say, you know what? Yeah, I think this and I have every right to think this. And I tell you what, mate, if we didn't have this manager and we had Conte, I will be right there with you. In fact, God, you should see me when I start bitching. Ask my wife what I'm like when I start bitching. Okay? I would be with you saying, we're this and that, and we are not even one injury away. We're useless and blah, blah, blah.
I would say I wouldn't say
I know we're not useless. We're not. But I'm just trying to make a point. You know what I mean?
No. Do you know what? I get your point. I get your point completely. I think for me it's keeping where I stay with my expectation. I've been there, done it before, got way too carried away. Listen, and I'm going to stand by what I'm saying. Listen, I love what we got. We've got the right manager. I love this manager. I think he's exactly everything that I fell in love with this football club, right? He's the antithesis of this football club. And he fits us like a glove. The thing is for me, I'll stand by it. We're 2 months into it. If we win the league in 2 months, it's a miracle. I stand by that. Can we? Of course we can. Anyone can still win the league. Luton Town can still win the league this season. Mathematically. Once it's mathematically good, you're still on. But it's that sense of setting the expectation. Where's the expectation, right? Listen, I don't expect us to win the league. If we do, wow. Incredible, right? But we're so far behind the curve right now when it comes to
we're not.
The likes of...
We're not so far behind. No, we're not. We're not. Listen. Belief is one of the most powerful words in the world. And if you can learn how to wield it, if you can get others to buy into it, and then you can start believing in others, and those others can make you and help you believe in yourself, and then you can believe as one unit, you can conquer the world. I promise you. I absolutely promise you.
I believe in the 11. I believe in the 11.
Believe in the squad. It's not about 11, mate. It's not about that.
But that's my point. You're talking my point. I believe in the 11 at the moment. I don't think we've got a big enough squad and a good enough squad to win a league right now. Can we in 2 or 3 years' time? Possibly. Once you start getting rid of the likes of Eric Dyer, Hugo Lloris out of the club, and start bringing in 3, 4 better players for this system. Listen, for me, it's going to take time. I just don't want people going crazy at the moment when we're talking about 5 games, right? Listen, I'm not saying it's going to happen. Before people jump here, wait for it. Imagine we lose the next 6 games. Are we still going to be sat there going, we're going to win the league?
It's not going to happen.
Do you know what I mean? No. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but my point being is we're 5 games into the season. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but hypothetically, we say we lose the next 5 games. We'd all be the change of the landscape changes, right? If we go and win the next 5 games, again, hypothetical, could happen potentially. Then you go, do you know what? We're 10 games into it, 9 wins, 1 draw, and you go, do you know what? Something's happening here. For me, I'm on the train with the manager, but I'm not sitting there saying we've won the league already in September. Talk to me. Here's the one. If we get to April and we're still within a 1 win away from Man City, who will be top, then come and say to me, go on, Perchy, you on it now, on the train that we're winning the league. That's when I'll start getting excited, not in September. Leagues are won in May, not in September. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
So let's end the podcast with this. I'm going to tell you a story. There was a club. They were okay. They were doing all right. They were in the Championship. They then got promoted to the Premier League. And they had an awful season. They had a manager who tried to make them believe. And then they got rid of him. They brought in another manager who somehow, and I couldn't believe it, made them believe. And this team was 5,000 to 1 to win the league, and they fucking won it. Don't tell me that belief can't move mountains. Don't tell me that it can't make this Tottenham team, which would slap that Leicester team, win the league. And I know you're going to say, but James, it's opportunities and circumstances, and back then people were throwing the games and blah, blah, blah. This season, everyone is loving Tottenham. And I can actually see teams, if we're up there with Man City, I can see them rolling over for us. I would fucking hate it if they did, because I want us to win on merit. But belief is everything. Ross, anything you want to say? We've done the hour mark. You're still here, right?
Yeah, I'm still here, guys. Just enjoy it. Let's just enjoy it for what it is. At the minute, we're a very good team playing very, very good football. We have a manager who loves us, and it's nice to have that. We've had like 3 or 4 years of people feel like they're doing us a favour. And at the minute, if it is happening, you know, I was there on not there. I was sitting there on Saturday going, I wonder if we scored, and then we did. I wonder if we could win it, then we did. Not that I was expecting us to. So at the minute, it's lovely. And as Ange said, just enjoy it. If he's not there to burst our bubble, and look, whatever happens on Sunday happens. We can't change it. We can affect it a little bit. It's at their big old red thing of a ground, and good, you know, whatever. We'll just hopefully shut them up a little bit. But we know what their fans are like. They'll go, look, we did this to Spursy, and make lots of funny noises like I just did. But
you missed out. You missed out the third. I wonder. What's the third one? What was the first one you just said? I wonder if we could score. What was the second one? I wonder if we can win it. What's the third one? What's the third wonder?
Don't know.
It involves
what was I supposed to go with it?
Well, it involves that big red thing that we're going to play in next week.
I wonder if we can beat Arsenal. And look, that could happen. We have got as good a chance as we've had in a long time to beat them. And then they didn't look that great against Everton. I watched the game, unfortunately. But they're there for the taking, and they're okay. They're a good team, but their new signings I don't think have settled. One's out till January apparently, and we'll see. I think we've got as good a chance as we have, as I said a minute ago, in the last 3 or 4 years. So why not? And that's the first time I felt like that going to their ground in ages. It's just because it's their ground and it's them that gives you the heebie-jeebies.
Morpheus turns to Trinity and says he's starting to believe. You're off the fence, mate. That's what it sounds like to me. You're not sitting on that fence anymore. Your appendage has removed those thorns and you're on the believe train with Ange. Guys, it's been lovely. We're going to be back next week with us telling you how great that performance was, laughing at Lidl's Pep and his red card that he's bound to receive. Perch, I love you loads. I love disagreeing with you. And this is what makes exactly, mate. I'm so happy that we have these different opinions. And one day you'll come over to mine, or I'll have to. I will. I'll have to show you a slap.
When we're still doing the pod at the end of April, and we're top of the league by 5 points.
I don't think we will be top. I don't think we will be top. As I said in 2 pods ago, I think we're going to be chasing City, and I believe that they're going to slip up in the last 2 games. We're going to beat Arsenal and then win the league by 1 point. That's what I believe. And even if we don't, I don't want to talk like this because this whole thing has been about me talking about belief. So fuck it. That's it, guys. We're going to see you next week. Push those positive thoughts towards us winning, because I guarantee that's what our manager's doing to these players, and we can do anything. Love you loads. Speak to you later.
Bye.
Bye.